Oh, good lord. Sorry, I've been asleep. Hang on, just let me have a drink of water. Friggin' hell. This poop that's kicked off since I had my moi. Hang on. Sorry, I just need a drink of water. So, I've been asleep and I got woken up by the postman delivering my toilet plunger because my sink keeps getting blocked. But, I mean, it's fine. I've sorted it now, but it's just an issue with... Anyway, so I thought, well, I'll just go on, see what's happening on X, and it's like friggin' hell. All hell has broken loose on X, and I have to report it. So, where do I even begin? The headline: Trump's days are numbered. He's screwed. Trump is so screwed. He has screwed up so monumentally, probably even worse than Keir Starmer. And it's fabulous because he's given me the perfect opportunity to tell God to release the videos. We've just been releasing photos and snippets of things that have angered the Americans, but after what he's just done with Russia and Iran, I've just told God to release everything, drop the whole lot, drop the videos of the videos that they have on him. He's screwed. He's really screwed up. Why? I'm going to tell you why. I had said to Vladdy, don't trust him. Remember, I did the live the other, when was it, yesterday, and I was saying about, Donald Trump is like the great white shark with all the big shiny teeth. No, 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 that's not flesh. No, 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 that's not bone stuck in my teeth. You're going to be safe in my mouth, he's saying to Vladimir Putin, with the remora, like Kushner and all that, like feeding off the discarded bits, and Netanyahu being the megalodon. It's just come out the CIA, with Trump's blessing, were behind the assassination attempt on Vladimir Putin and all the drone attacks. And so I've just said to because when they bombed Chernobyl, and the codes I got through with I call them the boats and satellites codes, I said America, Great Britain, France and Germany were behind what they got Ukraine to do. And then I was right, because the particular drones that they used were Ukrainian ones, not Russian drones. They very proudly, promptly, these are the drones that Vladimir used, but they're not Russian drones. They're Ukrainian ones, funded by the EU and America and all that. And I said to Vladimir, I actually sent his press place an email and talked about a silverback gorilla, or a gorilla. I said there's a gorilla who's like pretending to be your friend, but he's like a double agent. Well, now it's all come out, eh? Vladimir Putin, with like the goodness of his heart, trusting Donald Trump, thinking he could trust Donald Trump. Turns out Donald Trump has been lying to him this whole time and was behind. Because I keep saying the CIA, Hillary Clinton uses the CIA. They tried to use the CIA on me, but because, why? Donald Trump knows that he's about to get done for the stolen gold. He knows he's on borrowed time now. And so I think he thought, by threatening Vladimir, by threatening Russia, by threatening us with all sorts, that we'd back down and shut up. Because he's the man, the superpower, and he's the man, and, blah, 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 blah. But God hates him. He has no power when it comes to God. He has no say when it comes to God. And God has said, if anyone touches Russia, we are coming for you. Last year, when he bombed Iran, God said, if America and Israel touch Iran, Iran has God's blessing to wipe Israel off the face of the earth, and then they can wipe America off the face of the earth. However, it'll be the American people that take Trump and his administration down. The fear that is going to be caused for what is coming to that little fat slimy satsuma of a Presepedo, is going to give him a heart attack. When he realises the trouble he's in, when he sees what the mistake he's made, the fear is going to give him a heart attack, and he's going to be found dead, like he's going to drop dead, because he thought he was untouchable. They tried to cause a divide between God and Russia, between me and Russia, because like, I'm the guardian, right? I protect the pure and innocent, especially when it comes to Russia and Ukraine and Great Britain and that. I've been talking about it. I don't hide it anymore. And he thought, him and Elon and that, thought that they'd caused a divide. But they forgot that I'm very loyal and dedicated when it comes to serving my duty for the Lord. And I don't desert my posts. I am not someone who will ever be accused of going AWOL. I will never be held accountable to God for dereliction of duty. And he put me in charge of protecting the King in Great Britain and Vladimir Putin and Russia/Ukraine. And I've been doing that, regardless of what they've been throwing at me, regardless of what they've been throwing at us, i.e. Trump and Starmer, and regardless of what they've been threatening us with. I have never deserted my post when it came to defending Vladimir and Russia. And now what he's just done, and because I said, it seems a bit weird to me that as soon as Zelensky leaves that meeting, the assassination attempt, and then the CIA are like, oh no, we weren't targeting his house, we were targeting nuclear facilities or something like that. Well, why is America, I thought America wanted peace. Why America admitting that they were even responsible for bombing nuclear facilities and stuff? So Trump has literally just come out and admitted to the world that he's a fake and a fraud and a liar when it comes to seeking peace between Russia and Ukraine. Why? Because they're using the war in Ukraine and the threat in Iran to launder money. It's how they have to hide all the money they're stealing. He was never on Russia's side. He was never interested in peace. And now it's literally come out from the CIA and all these reports and all that, he's been behind it all. Exactly what I said, and I told Vladimir not to trust him. And I've been saying to people not to trust him. And when he bombed Nigeria on Christmas Day, what did I say? They want Palestine, they want Iran, they want to cause a holy war between Christians and Muslims and that, because they need a war to recoup the money from the war they're not getting with Russia, because they need a way to launder the money. They've got to hide the money somewhere. And I specifically said Iran, Palestine and Russia and everything, like in just a matter of a few days. That orange, fat, slimy, maggoted, great white shark, Fatsuma president pedophile has made a bigger mistake than even Starmer did, because he dared try to eliminate the leader of the free world, who God has entrusted to be the new Holy Land, because he's getting ready to wipe Israel off the map. Why? Okay, so this is the other reported news, and excuse me if I get emotional, but this I hope this is really dear to me, and I'm going to tell you why. So I had a dream. Remember, I had a dream, and it's all documented. I've just posted it all. There's some links in the description box, but I have to put more in. I had a dream that Netanyahu was sitting at a conference table, and he got shot in the head, and his wife started screaming, and a bodyguard just picked her, covered her mouth, and just picked her up and removed her from this conference. There were all these people, there were all these cameras, there were people sitting at the table, and when he got shot in the head, nobody reacted, nobody said or did a thing. And I was just saying in this post, I think Israel are about to take Netanyahu out. I think that what I saw was like a bilocation jump where I see two things in one vision. I think the first part of it is to do with what happened in Australia, how they, that false flag thing in Australia. And then I really, really think the Israeli government or the people of Israel are getting ready to exterminate Netanyahu because they're on the brink of being wiped off the face of the earth, and the Israeli people don't deserve that. And what's happening is, and this is what's getting me upset, is because nobody's listening to the fact that the majority of Israeli soldiers are suffering from extreme psychological trauma from what they're being forced to do in Gaza, to the point where all the soldiers are now starting to commit suicide because of him, because of Trump, because of feeding Molech. And it's devastating. They're killing themselves because they can't handle what they're witnessing and what they're being involved in, and so they're choosing death. And it's heartbreaking because they're trying so hard to cause this war between Christians, Muslims, and Jews. They need a war, and the only people holding everything steady is Russia and Iran and China and that, because they're being passive and patient. They're letting these lunatics run around and expose themselves for the depth of their depravity and the extent that they will go to betray even their allies and their friends. Donald Trump has just exposed himself to be the most underhanded, untrustworthy, lying, greedy, selfish, disloyal, backstabbing betrayer to Russia ever, like on a monumental scale. He's not going to be able to come back from this. He has sealed his fate. I've just given God the order to drop the videos. We've been using snippets. I said to the people, you're going to see snippets of things that he's been doing, but it's going to be enough to make people angry. Well, I've just said to God, drop the videos, expose the videos, get them out there. They might get taken down because of how disturbing they are, but people will be able to catch them long enough to see exactly what he's been doing. And the pitchforks and torches and lynch mobs will be heading straight to the White House, and the fear of what he sees coming towards him is going to stop his heart. It's going to literally stop that pig dead. So, in other news, Bill Gates, a couple of years ago, I was having a conversation with my boy, and I said to him, I keep seeing Bill Gates in a plane and I think it's crashing. I said, and I think like this man who's flying the plane is dying, and he crashes the plane and it kills Bill Gates. It's all there. I've just put it up on my social media. Well, this man who's dying, who was a pilot for Bill Gates' cloud seeding, has come out and said that he's doing it to create a Holocaust in America. He's on his deathbed. He made a deathbed confession. I said to my son, I don't know if it's like his wife got the COVID and died or something. I said, but it's like this man's dying, and so he's like, well, if I'm going down, I'm taking Bill Gates down with me, and he falls from a great height. Because sometimes my codes aren't, especially back then, with everything I was dealing with, trying to heal physically and trying to demagnetize myself from the shock of everything that I'd just come out of, because I think I documented this dream in like 2024, I think. I think 2024, but you'll have to have a look. It's all there. And I said, I just know that this man's dying, and he's like, if I'm going out, I'm taking Bill Gates with me, and that's exactly what's happened. He's just admitted that the cloud seeding is to kill off, to cause a Holocaust in America, with the blessing of Donald Trump. As you remember, Donald Trump had him for a meal, had him round for a meal, had him at, had a meeting with him after he got called as president. So Donald Trump is allowing Bill Gates to cause a biochemical holocaust in America, which is why people have been getting all that weird rain in America, like the blue rain and So I've taken all of that to the ICC, because remember, he's already under investigation for this sort of thing anyway. He's having to start to answer for himself. But because what I was seeing now was spot on, it means that what that man said on his deathbed is now going to seal the fate of Bill Gates. Unfortunately, like I've said before, he too is going to die before he ever goes to prison. He's already got the grey aura about him anyway. He's had the grey aura. When I read people's auras, and that when I see grey, it either means like it turns from grey to black, but the less time you have, the darker the grey goes until it turns black. But his aura has been grey for a couple of years, and it's getting darker and darker and darker as time goes on. So his days are numbered as well. But he's got the aura of death about him, and so does Zelensky. I don't know if anyone else can see it, but yeah, when I see people's it's got nothing to do with chakras or anything like that, like at all, because chakras aren't a scientific thing. It's to do with the you know on a hot summer's day, how you see the heat waves coming off like the cars and the ground and the tarmac, and it's like all wavy lines. And if you look at those wavy lines, they might be slightly rainbow coloured. We all have that. Every living organism has that kind of aura, and it switches and changes depending on your health, your mood, that sort of thing. And when it's grey, it means that you're sick, and the darker it goes, it means that you're sick and starting to die. And his is getting darker and darker and darker. And now that this has come out, like it's all starting to make sense what I saw. In other news, I was ranting about Elon Musk. He's had to, because I was saying, don't trust AI, don't trust Grok, because he uses Grok to get in your head. He's had to shut Grok down because it started, people have been using it to say, Grok, remove the person who faked an assassination attempt. And it's a photo of Trump and Putin, and there's only Putin in the photo. Grok, remove the flag of the country that's committing genocide, and it's the Palestine and Israeli flag, and the Israeli flag's like missing. And then there was one about Elon Musk. Was it the drug addict? Remove the one who's faking a drug addict or something like that, and it removed Elon Musk from the picture. It's hilarious. So he's had to stop Grok for a bit. But I keep saying, don't trust Grok. Don't trust Grok. In other news, in regards to the assassination attempt, MI6, the ones that Starmer sent to deal with me, I'm pretty sure. Possibly. Allegedly. Possibly. Anyway, the assassination attempt, MI6 knew how to do it, where to go, what to do, yada yada, blah blah blah, because they've been following him and that. And I said, yeah, because they've been spying on him, because Keir Starmer admitted that they had spies in Russia. And then I pulled up the article, and I was like, so the British have been spying on Russia, because what happened was they had spies in Russia, and they were trying to say these two Russians where that we've been watching in Russia, we're going to come to the UK and stage a false flag event. And I said to the king, how would they know that if they weren't in Russia spying on the Russians? So now they've just caught themselves out. Keir Starmer, every time he tries to do anything with like me, the king, anytime he tries to do anything sneaky and underhanded, it backfires on him every time. And so I just pulled up the article and sent it to the king and the ICC, and I'm like, yeah, because he admitted that they had spies there, and I pulled up information where I had said to Vladdy a couple of years ago, thus Elon Musk is using Starlink and Starlink, whatever you call it, Starlink satellites and that Starlink Wi-Fi and all that to spy on you. I said he's selling information to the enemy and you can't trust him. And I said, and you know, because people need to understand that when it comes to your Wi-Fi and your broadband and that, they use it, they can sweep your home and tell how many people are in the house, what you're doing. They can even read your moods and stuff. So if Vladdy's had Starlink or any AI related technology connected to Elon Musk or Donald Trump or Google or anything like that, they use it to spy on you. So they know exactly where his location is because they used his Wi-Fi and that to do it. So that's how they've been able to know, because they were like, how did they know exactly where he lives? Because they spy through his Wi-Fi and broadband. And I told him that a couple of years ago. Don't trust Elon Musk. Don't use his technology. You know, they had photos of them, the Russian soldiers, and they, we got Starlink, blah, blah, blah. And I said to Vladdy, don't do it. I said, don't do it because he's going to use it to spy on you. I said, Elon Musk is not your friend. He is out to help tear you down. He's working for the opposition. He's a spy, basically, a double agent, just like Donald Trump. I got accused of being disloyal. I got treated quite badly on social media. And I was right. I'm at the point now where it's not personal. What Donald Trump has just done has tipped the balance now. He's in more trouble than Keir Starmer now. Like, in way more trouble, because Great Britain hasn't been chosen to be the Holy Land, the New Jerusalem, when Israel gets wiped off the face of the earth, which, you know, these protests in Iran, they were all Mossad agents. They were all put up to it by Donald Trump and Netanyahu and Mossad. So it was all a false flag propaganda. They've all been caught. They've all been exposed as Israeli Mossad agents, and they've all been eliminated. And I said to Donald, don't do it, because Iran they've been ordained. Remember last year in the video, they've been ordained. If Israel puts a foot out of place, you can wipe them off the face of the earth. And they won't be held accountable for it. And I made that clear in my video last year. They won't be held accountable for it. They'll be doing the world a favour. Donald Trump has now come out and issued a warning. Panic, panic, panic alert. Americans, get out of Russia. Oh my God, you know, you're under threat. Like, shit's kicking off. And it's like, no, they're not. Americans aren't under threat in Russia. They're safer in Russia than they are in America. This is all because I've been exposing Donald Trump. And so now he's, it's almost like, for lack of a better term, if Debbie Callaghan or Brahena Saithusa, if you don't shut your mouth, we're going to bomb your best friend. We're going to go after Russia. If you don't shut up right now, we're going to cause trouble for your pal. We're going to defy God and bomb the new Holy Land, because you're exposing too much. And we don't want to get caught out. We don't want to get into trouble. When I read the news, that's immediately what I thought. He's targeting an innocent person, innocent countries, to try and shut me up because he's on the brink of being taken down by the ICC. Same with Keir Starmer. They're all in on it. I've been saying from day one, America, even with Biden, they haven't declared war on Russia, and yet they're helping the British and the Ukrainians in that bomb Russia. And then, of course, when they bombed Chernobyl, I said to Vladimir, I put it all up, and I said, America's in on this. I put the codes out. Well, I've just handed it all to the ICC because they bombed Chernobyl, which would have caused a disaster on an epic scale had the radiation have leaked. Luckily, what God said was he made the wind blow, so it blew the flames out, so it didn't go according to plan. It didn't do the damage they wanted it to do, which is then why he stupidly tried to target Russia's nuclear facilities. And now he's just put the final nail in his coffin, because I've just said to God, before I hit record, before I hit live, drop the videos, like unedited, like the full thing, drop it all. The stuff that's been coming out about Epstein and Donald Trump and that is bad enough, but now I've just said carpet bombing with the nuclear bombs of truth, and leave nothing behind. Leave nothing uncovered. The stuff that's about to come out about Donald Trump and what he's been doing with those kids is going to make people so angry they're going to head right to the doorstep of the White House with pitchforks and torches. And the shock of it is going to give them a heart attack. And it's really funny as well, because I keep talking. I had a dream a couple of years ago. I posted it somewhere, but I can't remember where I posted it. Where I had a dream that Biden and a whole pile of like American presidents and officials and all that had been strung up Benito Mussolini style in the street, and their blood was spilling out onto the road and turned to gold, and people were walking along and chopping up bits of the road and taking the nuggets of gold and then walking away and prospering. And because Donald Trump has been hiding some of that gold in his marble flooring, his marble floors have got like streams of gold in it. And I think people are going to tear up his office and tear up the flooring and that and take the gold in that for themselves when they find out that he's been stealing the gold. The Elon Musk and all that, when people find out that the gold that he's been putting in his White House is actually gold that they stole around the time of the Super Bowl and when Biden was president and all that, is going to tip people over the edge. And now because he's letting Bill Gates create a biochemical holocaust, which is why he's building the underground bunker. And then remember I was saying about how they use floods, how they cause the floods? You know, Project Noah's Ark. Well, mysteriously Gaza's now just had a flood. So everything that I said, everything that I saw, it's all coming true. Keir Starmer and Donald Trump go down together. V for Vendetta meets LA riots, which I figured out, meaning Donald Trump and Keir Starmer are going to go down together, and it might even have something to do with what they've just done in Russia, because now the British have been implicated, as MI6 have been implicated working with the CIA. We're not in wartime. War hasn't been declared. So it's considered an act of terrorism. It's international terrorism. It's a violation of the Geneva Convention. If you're going to go to war with someone, you have to declare it. It has to be declared. There's like legal things that have to happen in order for you to go to war, and that hasn't happened. But they're targeting Russia like it's wartime, which is a violation of the Geneva Convention. They're war criminals. They're committing war crimes and acts of terrorism. So this is what I think. Those codes that I had back in the 90s, V for Vendetta meets LA riots, I think it's all to do with Keir Starmer and Donald Trump are about to be held accountable for these attacks on Russia and also Palestine, for Israel. Like, without a shadow of a doubt. But Netanyahu and Trump don't live long enough to get to prison, whereas Starmer will. Starmer, he's not marked for death. He doesn't have the X next to him. He doesn't have the death aura of him. But Netanyahu, Zelensky, and Elon Musk and Donald Trump do. Because they screwed up. They've screwed up so bad. I couldn't believe it. When I saw the betrayal, Vladimir Putin trusted Donald Trump and he basically just shit on him. Shit on him in his own home. That kind of level of betrayal deserves nothing more than God wiping that man out. And I've just given him permission to do it. I've just said to God, yep, no, I'm done. I started getting angry because my heart broke for Vladimir because he trusted him. You know, like, him and I got put through a lot because of him and Elon Musk. But I've still stood by my post. I haven't deserted him as far as my duty is concerned. And then when I saw that betrayal, I was like, the first thing I wanted to do was just run to him and say, I'm here. Like, I'm here. You're going to be okay, don't worry. They can't touch him. They can't touch him. He's untouchable. So now all Vladdy has to do is just sit back and let me do what I've got to do. And don't just shush. Just let me do what I've got to do. I'm going to work on some things and we're going to see some shit happen to Donald Trump that is going to make people's jaws hit the floor. I just need to have a good rest first because it's going to take a lot of energy. But you watch what I'm about to do to Donald Trump after what he's just done to betray Vladimir Putin. He's basically just shit on God. Donald Trump has just shit on God and said, if you mean nothing. I don't give a crap about your Holy Land. I don't give a crap about your New World. I don't give a crap about anything. I don't give a crap. You don't exist to me. I don't believe in God. I hate you. I worship Molech. And this is what I think of you. And just shit directly in God's Holy Land. And I please forgive me for my language. I don't consider the word shit a swear, but I do try to be careful, obviously because I'm going to be working around children, but that's the level of silent rage that I have for that man now that I know he has just shit on my father. How dare you? How dare you tell God he is worthless and nothing and that you won't bow to him? I'm going to have you on your knees, fat man. Do you hear me, Donald Trump? I'm going to have you on your knees begging God for forgiveness. And then he's going to turn around and shit on you. I'm taking your kids with you, by the way. Dinkus and Dorcas and Ivanka and Kushner, I'm taking them with you. They're going down with you. Your wife, the lot of them, I'm taking them all. Not death, but your tower's about to come down, and the name Trump is going to collapse along with it. How dare you shit on my father? You just shat on God. You called God worthless and nothing, and that offends me greatly. Who are you to tell God that you are more superior to him? Who are you to tell God that he lied in the Bible about what was coming in the book of Revelation and the Holy Land? You're just so jealous of Vladimir Putin because he gets more respect in this world than you ever will. You're not fit to wipe that man's ass, Donald Trump. But now I'm going to wipe the floor with you because you screwed up. You offended my father on a level that can only be described as biblical rage. And I'm not only going to conjure Satan to come for you and your kids and your wife and your pals, I'm getting Odin and Hades in on it too. So get ready, little man. If I was you, I wouldn't go to sleep because I can get you in your dreams too. So get ready, America, because you're about to see hell break loose right on that little pathetic man's doorstep, just like Keir Starmer. Okay? And Vladdy, don't worry. We're on it. We're on this. If they touch so much as a blade of grass near you, France and Germany won't exist anymore either. The fallout for what's coming to Netanyahu and Zelensky and Trump and Starmer for what they've done will suffocate all the rest of them as well. He's offended God on a level that now he's like the archangels are going to come down. I'm opening everything up on that man, and I'm going to call forth the archangels as well. Not just the angels and the deities, Satan and Hades and Odys too. I'm going to conjure up and pull forth the portals between heaven and hell and get him trapped in the middle and suck his whole family in on it. So you just watch. You idiot. And as for Elon Musk, idiots. So watch this space. The next one will be, oh my God, Donald Trump's dead, or something like that. You just watch. Just watch. Just let me rest, because I need to build up my energy, because this is going to be a big one. This is going to be bigger than anything Starmer's done. Starmer's a weasel compared to Baal, because I'm taking Baal down now. I took Baphomet down. Elon Musk, he's Baphomet. Now I'm after Baal. And when Baal falls, Molech falls. When the great white shark gets caught and hunted, the Megalodon's going down with it. So watch this space. And Iran, don't worry about it. God and Allah, you've got permission to do whatever you want with Israel. Just keep the innocent people out of it. Give innocent Jews enough time to get out. And oh God, it just breaks my heart what's happening with those soldiers. See, because the thing is, back in the day, many years ago when I first started my blog, I was actually told about something that happened in Israel in the 50s and 60s, like late. I can't remember. It was like late 50s, early 60s, where Israeli soldiers were given what they were told were like vitamin injections, and then they were blacking out and having no memory of anything that was happening, and then seeing on the news atrocities that they'd been involved in, that they had no idea they'd been involved in. The rage injection, it was like a rage injection, like 28 days later, how they were the monkeys were given the injections and they got the rage and it infected everyone. I think it might be loosely based on that. And these Israeli soldiers were killing themselves because they couldn't believe what they had been taken part of, but yet they had no memory of it until they realised it was because of these injections they'd been given. So, yeah, it's heartbreaking. So, yeah, enough's enough. So I'm putting an end to this, Donald Trump. So get ready. Take a good look around, because what you're seeing now, you're not going to be seeing for much longer. I'm going to have everybody in America right on your doorstep. The fear that I'm going to put into you is going to be enough to stop your heart, and nothing will start it beating ever again. And I'm taking your kids with you, and your wife, and your son-in-laws, and your daughter-in-laws, and the whole lot. Because, yeah, you've done it now. Pompeo and all that, you're done. And then the rest of you will end up at The Hague. As I've presented everything to the ICC. And God promised, if you screw this up, we're taking you down from the inside out, which means your nearest and dearest, the people around you, the people who work for you, the American people, MAGA, all of them are going to be responsible for taking you out, and Vladimir Putin won't have to do a thing. So, yeah, my king is fine. We're just dealing with little wimpy Starmer over there. You know, I still have faith that King Charles is going to do the right thing and dissolve Parliament. I really, really believe with all my heart that Starmer's about to resign, but he ends up in prison. He ends up having to get dragged off in handcuffs. So they're all going down. But I was right about everything. I told Vladimir not to trust him. I said him and Elon Musk are not your friends. And they tried everything to stop us from having contact with each other, so that I couldn't reach him, to let him know what was going on, to warn him, to be his support, you know, to be his protector and all that, to be the guardian and all that. They tried everything they could. And now that one mistake, because I knew as soon as that meeting with Zelensky was over, I said, Donald Trump's involved in this. This is all Donald Trump. And now it's all come out. I was right about everything. So, but now I'm here. And I've got my stuff, and I've just banged my rod on the ground, and I'm going to call forth all the entities from heaven and hell. And we're heading straight for Donald Trump. So get ready. Hopefully with any luck, my next newsflash will be about him. But if I was him, I would be too scared to close my eyes, because I'll be waiting for him in his sleep as well. I'm going to get in his head, and I'm going to start tearing him down from inside his head. And when he goes to sleep, that's when I'm going to really dig it in. The stuff that I'm going to make him dream about will make him too scared to go to sleep. Whereas Keir Starmer needs to be looking over his shoulder, Donald Trump won't even have peace in his mind, because the second he closes his eyes or has a spare thought to himself, I'm in there. So get ready, Donald. Time to play the game.